Good evening. This is Jean Chapoth, and you're listening to In the Public Interest. We are on WIMG AM 1300. If you're watching us, we're on WZBM, Mercer Channel 25. Thanks for joining us tonight. I have two lovely women waiting to come on the air. Meg McQuarrie, Executive Director of the Elixir Fund, and Janice Schwarzak, who is Vice President of the Teal Foundation. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you both.
Thank you.
Nice. Thank you.
They've both been on before, so maybe you'll remember a little bit about them and what they do, but their causes are so important, I thought it would be nice to talk to them again, especially since they have big events coming up. They both have big events coming up. And September is National Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. So we did want to target that a little bit and talk about what that means and the impact of that. So let's start with Meg. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you.
What is the Elixir Fund? ELIXIR, Elixir Fund.
Thank you for that. Yes. The Elixir Fund is an organization that is dedicated to improving the comfort and support of cancer patients and their caregivers. So that's everything from we bring programs to hospitals, our movies and music, mini makeovers. We now do a high tea at the Robert Wood Johnson in New Brunswick. And we also work with people across the country who contact us looking for help to identify and access support services in their area. Meals, transportation, spa services. We also give people ideas on what they can do. Complementary therapy such as yoga, massage, meditation, and some of the benefits.
Now, are you a one-person show? Do you run this whole thing by yourself?
No, I have wonderful volunteers. I'm the only full-time person, so I am full-time, but I have a wonderful board and I have wonderful volunteers that help out with events and programs.
Do you need volunteers? Do you want people to volunteer?
We can always use volunteers.
Tell them what to do.
They can contact us through our website, www.elixirfund.org. And again, that's ELIXIR, elixirfund.org, or they can email me directly, meg@elixirfund.org.
Now, we were talking a little bit earlier, and you said you started out in California. Mm-hmm. So you actually have two big units, right, branches, one in California and one here?
We started there in California, and we work with hospitals in the Los Angeles area, and then we moved the organization here to New Jersey. So we actually have a national focus and work with people across the country. We also have a program, somebody that we worked with at Robert Wood Johnson moved down to North Carolina. So we have a program at UNC hospital as well.
So people actually call you from all over the United States.
They do.
Looking for resources.
They do.
And help. And what do I do about this? And how do I find help now? What are your most common calls?
Most common calls are looking for financial support, looking for ways, which is very difficult, especially in this climate. It's very difficult. Most people are looking for help in covering the costs of treatment. We are currently working on a program that we'll launch later that will try and help with some of the additional costs, meals, transportations, things like that. So we'll be looking to talk more about that in the fall. But most of the questions are about financial support. A lot of people need transportation is another big one. But financially, it's really hitting people hard.
I know that you have a story behind the Elixir Fund. If you would like to share that.
Sure.
This is really an organization that's from your heart. You want to tell us about your brother?
Sure. The Elixir Fund is inspired by my brother, Kevin, and his experience with cancer treatment. He was diagnosed at the age of 36 with very advanced testicular cancer. By the time he was diagnosed, he was given a month to live. And part of the reason for that is my brother chose a alternative holistic approach at first, I think partially because of a fear of cancer treatment. We have one way of dialoguing about it, or one primary way, a fight, a battle. We still have that image of chemotherapy leaving you very sick and very tired, which, not to say that doesn't happen, but I don't think the anti-nausea medication gets enough airplay and PR. There's really wonderful medication, and so treatment is a different story now, but we still talk about it as you're so sick. And so my brother really always thought that he would avoid traditional treatment if he ever had cancer. And once he was finally diagnosed, he decided, when friends and family rallied around, he decided to give treatment a try, and it was a much different experience than he ever thought it would be. Not only did he not get sick, he really didn't suffer. He lived a full and rich life. He went through almost 2 years of continual treatment. Including stem cell, multiple rounds of chemotherapy, radiation on his spine, his pelvis, his back. I mean, gamma knife radiation. He went through all of that. And really, it was just it was a really positive, uplifting experience. Everyone rallied around, friends, family, strangers stepped up. And it's such a heartwarming experience when you really can't believe the people who do step up and help, people you would never expect. And so for him, he actually described it as the greatest gift in really ugly wrapping, that this experience was much different for him and for all of us. While he was going through this, it was the little things that brought him comfort, the DVD player and the movies, the chair that friends bought him that he could actually bring with him to the hospital that was more comfortable than the bed, the food that people brought in. He wore his own clothes. We decorated the walls. All of that helped keep his spirits up, helped keep him positive, and helped him not to suffer. And we talked about finding ways to do these little things for other people. And he referred to his chemotherapy, to give it a positive spin, he referred to it as his elixir, which is where the name comes from.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so we talked about creating the Elixir Fund at that time. And when it was apparent that he was not going to survive, we actually, right then and there, put together a bank account to get this started. So I do this inspired by my brother, and really seeing the difference that those little things can make, not only for the patient, but for the caregivers, who so often think, oh, I can't do that, I don't have time, I can't. But they really need to take care of themselves so that they can be there for the patient. So our focus is patients and caregivers, and it's truly, truly the little things, and it's such an amazing impact. We did a makeover day for 5 women. Radiant Salon in Lawrenceville opened, at their Quaker Bridge location, opened for us privately for the day, for a small group of women. And that was almost a year ago, and I'm still in regular contact with one of those women. And she reaches out to me and says, you're one of the organizations that, picks up the phone and does something, and you're there. There's a person there.
And these were all cancer patients.
Patients and their caregivers. It was 2 women and their mothers, and then this other woman. Mm-hmm.
So you said you're celebrating your 10th anniversary.
Next year. We're 9 years. Yeah, we're 9 years old.
Wow, that's wonderful, Meg.
Thank you.
You're doing great things.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We're going to talk